Yo, what's going on, guys? So the other day I went out and did some shooting with my Glock 45. We're talking about utilizing that as a potential option for carry. If you follow this channel, you know that I'm a big fan of snub nose revolvers, and for the most part, that's what I like to carry for my everyday carry. But we've had some recent things that have happened here in Portland, things throughout the country where it's just not getting any better. I don't know that it necessarily was ever, at a place where maybe this shouldn't have been something that I considered. But long story short, I am thinking about capacity and potentially switching back to a semi-automatic for everyday carry. So here's my Glock 45 9mm. Everything is clear. There's no magazine in the well. So we went out and did some work with this the other day. I absolutely love this gun. Is one of my favorite 9mm, definitely one of my favorites in the Glock line. And we talked about the benefits of having the Glock 17 frame, the Glock 19 slide, how that applies to being able to easily get a full purchase on that handle and get that out in a concealed carry situation. And then obviously the capacity. Right here, the Kimber K6XS, my personal snub nose carry that I've been utilizing here recently for everyday carry. And again, big fan of it. 6 rounds, generally utilizing a speed loader to give myself an additional 6 rounds if needed. But again, that capacity, that ability to reload quickly if needed in a situation, not necessarily as good or beneficial as the semi-automatic version. So I have been kind of going back and forth the last couple of days. I really, really, really love carrying this firearm, but I love the comfort of this firearm. I love the ease of use of this firearm, but I love the capacity of this firearm. So I was thinking to myself, what do I do? Do I go, Glock 43X? Do I look at maybe some of the other smaller concealed carry options for semi-automatic? And then it dawned on me that in the back of my safe, I have a Glock 26 Gen 5. Let me go ahead and make sure this is clear. No magazine, and the firearm is clear. So I started thinking to myself, would the Glock 26 be a good option to kind of be right in between these two? If you look at the size between the snub nose 38 and the Glock 26, there's not a huge difference. One of my biggest issues, I purchased the Gen 5 Glock 26, I believe, in late 2020. And one of my only issues that I had with that firearm was being able to work with it with the size of the handle. It's got such a small handle. But that was way before I had ever started working with or shooting snub nose revolvers. So even with this Haug grip, or maybe this is the Crimson Trace grip that comes on the XS, this is a little bit bigger than most of the standard grips that come on a snub 38, but still, it's not very big. I mean, you're looking at it, you still have a little bit of dangle of pinky on that, right? But I've been working with these snub nose for so long, probably about 6 to 8 months, and really putting in time with them each week, that I've gotten a lot better handling it and a lot better shooting it. And I've actually become a better shooter by shooting with the trench back sight, the front sight on a revolver. It's made me a better shooter in terms of shooting my semi-automatic. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, what would happen if I took this bad boy out and I worked with it today? So I did just that. I'm going to show you guys some video of what it was like hitting the range and some of the issues that I have with this gun in terms of the finger placement. They can be mitigated by switching out your flush mag, right, with a Glock 19 mag. So if you put a Glock 19 mag, everybody's aware, on a Glock 26, you can put a Glock 19 magazine in there. You can put a Glock 17 magazine, and it kind of creates a little space for your finger, but that just looks so janky to me. That looks really, really bad. Now, they send you 2 10-round magazines, which if you're in California or if you are in Washington State or some of these other communist-run states, you have to use the flush 10 mag, and it's a little dumpy mag. But I actually switched out the base plate that comes on the standard mag for this Garrison extension. Okay, now this Garrison extension, I just put it directly over the base plate, so I'm not extending the amount of ammunition that can go in to this magazine. But compared to this, right, take that out, that to me looks a lot better right there. Okay, now if you wanted to utilize a Glock 19 magazine, I have a video from probably 2020 where I had placed this X grip adapter, right? So if I switch out the Garrison magazine adapter and put on the X grip adapter, it looks like that. Now personally, this functionally feels a lot better than the Garrison grip, right? But to me, the Garrison extension looks a lot better. That to me looks a more like something that I would feel, I don't know that why like the aesthetics of it should matter, because it really shouldn't, but it does. But aesthetically, this to me is more pleasing. But you guys are going to see in the video, I had a really hard time manipulating this magazine today at the range, because it's just such a small magazine. I mean, compare that to, I'm going to say that this is probably a Glock 19 magazine. Yeah. It's just such a smaller magazine, so that's the bottom of the two magazines lined up together. So you can see the difference between that Glock 19 magazine and the 10 round 26 magazine. So just trying to get this magazine out of my pocket and into the firearm, I did have some issues with that. And unfortunately at the time, I had completely forgotten that I had this. I probably would have been a lot better off trying to do those mag swaps with the X grip. So what are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts on the Glock 26 as an option? I don't really want to go out and spend the extra money on a 43X. I like the fact that the Glock 26 is about the same width. Let's see if we can line these up here. The Glock 26 is very similar in width to the Glock 19 and the Glock 45. I like the weight of this firearm. It's actually it's not heavy, but it's a lot better in terms of weight as opposed to the K6S. This is kind of right in between the K6XS and the K6S. That K6S was heavy as fuck, right? The K6XS has been a great EDC because it's not very heavy. This is kind of right in between, and it's a little bit lighter. Yeah, it's a little bit lighter than my Glock 45. So I'm thinking, I wore this today to the range. I wore it back from the range in appendix carry. I forgot that I had this holster that, right out the gate when I first purchased this firearm, my wife put this like diaper. She's a leather worker. She put this diaper on this very basic Amazon holster. This thing is comfortable as shit. It's crazy how sometimes you go through life and you search and you search and you search for something that's going to work out for you, and you sometimes find that you end up going right back to what you started with. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys? Glock 26 as an EDC option that kind of pairs the best of both worlds? I don't know. What do you think?